Everybody, welcome back to the Hobby Lodge. I've got a little bit of an unboxing to do for you. So this is a parcel from the Story Masters Tales. So the awesome Oliver McNeil over there, who does role-playing games for all levels, and I genuinely mean that. We are a big fan of his stuff. I'm not affiliated in any way. I bought this product. I wasn't, I did it on Kickstarter, and I've bought a bunch of his products in the past as well. And for me, they are amazing gateway games into role playing, especially with young people. But you can play them at any level. But for my purposes, it's really great to play with my family. I own some of the games already, and this was a recent Kickstarter he did for a more interactive map game. Now, I don't know too much about it because I backed it on the faith of knowing how good his other stuff was, but I did also pick up one of the games I didn't have, which is called Towers. So I'm gonna go through that as well. So I thought I'd do the unboxing here, kind of get the experience. I've broken the tape on it, but I haven't gone through what's inside. So we'll do that together, and we'll kind of work our way through it. And whilst we're doing it, I'll talk to you about the games itself. In the box, on the top here, we have the new product. So this is what the Kickstarter was all about, and it is the Story Masters Tales Spoken Adventure. But I'm actually going to come to this second because I know a lot more about the other product first, and then this one we can kind of, kind of fumble through ourselves. So the next one is the Story Masters Tales Towers. Really awesome looking box. I love the quality of that. Just quickly, I'll show you that I do own other ones as well. This one was the first one that came out, and this is the Weirding Woods. Again, a really nice box art there. And there's actually a expansion in here as well called Deeper into the Woods. So that was that one. And then I also own the Draco Deep Dungeon. And that has an expansion in it as well called Deeper into the Dungeon. So, and I want, like, we can jump into how the games play, but let's have a look inside this box first, and then I can talk about it. Okay, so yeah, really nice quality box. Fluff on the top of it there, but I actually really like the white. The white and the black looks quite striking. I quite like that. I was a big fan of the metallic colors on the other ones, but that looks really cool. Right, so in here, and I'm trying to do this whilst looking around the camera, so excuse me for moving things around a little bit. You get a little velvet dice bag. There's been a different color every one, so it's nice to see a new color for this one. Inside the bag, you're going to get some pencils and some dice, I believe, unless this one does anything different. Let me just have a quick look. Let's try and break into this bag. Yeah, okay. We'll tip out. We'll tip out into the lid over here, and we'll see what we get. Yeah. So as I thought, some dice. Normally, it's all done on D4s. I do believe there is a version of the game you can play using D6s if you prefer, but this is pretty much your combat dice. So one for you, one for the monster that you're probably going to come up against, or the villain, or whatever it is. But of course, grab some more D4s because however many people you're playing with, it's always nice to give them their own D4. You've then got these kind of gem tokens, counters. These represent your player. But you can also use actual miniatures if you wanted to, or there are standees that you can use as well. And that's what these little things are for, to put your little card characters in. And then 4 little pencils, because there is a bit of writing in this game. Very minimal. You're marking wounds and characteristic changes and stuff like that. A huge deck of cards, which we'll go through. 2 books. I wasn't expecting 2 books. This might be because it is the expansion. Yeah, Weirding Woods expansion. I don't know if that's supposed to be in there or that's because I bought that on the Kickstarter. That might be what that is. I think I might have ordered that extra. But this is to go with obviously the first game I spoke about, the Weirding Woods. I think it's the book that contains the original book and the expansion. So if you got this on the Kickstarter, it contains both in one book, saving you having to flip through 2 books if you wanted to. I might be wrong. It might actually just be that there's a new version of the book. We'll come back to that one. We'll come back to that. We'll compare it to the other one. But this is what I was expecting to be in there. And this is your guidebook to Story Masters Tales. Tales. Um, And again, we'll come back to how this works, but as you can see, it looks very akin to a sort of, choose your own adventure book, but it is so much more than that. So each page is numbered, and I don't want to show too much because I don't want to show spoilers. But as you can see, each page is numbered, and each one of those pages is then represented by a playing card. And as you make your way around the map, you simply open the page and you follow what goes on that page. So I think there is like 50 odd, no, 38. There we go. There's 38 in this one. With the expansions, if I remember rightly, it goes up to 60. Yes. Oh no, no, I missed one. 40. There we go. So yeah, lovely, lovely feel, really high quality. Genuinely, it's a really nice feeling book, and the artwork is amazing. I love it. It's such a cool artwork. As someone who is also into all things retro, this really feels good to look at. It's amazing. Like I said, I don't want to go through too much. Then got a pack of cards. We'll come on to the cards in a sec. You then got your character sheets. So if you've ever played something like Hero Quest or Fighting Fantasy books or those sorts of things, this kind of sheet is quite familiar, where you have your kind of character attributes, the items they might be having, and any notes you make as you go on your adventure, and so on and so forth. And the numbers around the outside are actually the hours. So I think you can take this game over 24 turns essentially to try and complete your mission. But yeah, and you get a whole bunch of these. Now, what we've done, and that's because I'm just a bit wild like this, is I will take 4 of these, I will laminate them, and then I'll use dry erase markers, pens, whatever you want to call them, so that you can write on the sheet and then wipe them off. And that way, keep them precious and new. And never touch them. Much like I did with my Hero Quest sheets. These are the standees you can use. So very simple. You can cut these out, fold them over, and then place them in these like little grips here. So you don't have to use these if you don't want to, but these work perfectly fine. You can actually cut these characters out, fold them, stick them in here, and you can pick who you want to be. So as you can see, lots of variety of characters here: wizard, witch, huntsman, soldier, redcap, archer, highwayman, monk, royal, rogue, and so on and so forth. So really cool. Something that I have done is painted up some miniatures to represent some of these guys, so that I'm able to use those instead of the card or anything else. And that's obviously another step if you want to take it. So let me put this stuff back into here. I'll clear some space and I'll actually show you how the game works. It is super simple. Let me actually grab a couple of these little things so that I can really show it on the table. So I'm going to keep a couple of these little gems out so I can have some characters. I've got my dice bag to one side. I'm going to move this box out of the way. I'm going to grab my book, keep that to one side, and I'm going to open these cards. At least attempt to. They never tear where they should do. Okay, so in here you're going to get 2 types of cards. You're going to get what's called reward cards, which are exactly as you would imagine. They are lovely illustrated treasure cards of either abilities or treasures or weapons or all sorts of potions, and there you go, armor, and so on and so forth. They all have a value in which you can purchase them if you find these in a shop, because you will come across traders, you will come across people that want to sell you things, and therefore you can know how much they're going to cost you. I believe, I can't remember if it's true, I think you can sell things back. I mean, you can house brawl some of this stuff, right? Sell things back at half price if you wanted to. But, make that rule up yourself. That's absolutely fine if you want to. That's the beauty of this game. I love messing around with it a little bit. But loads of cool stuff in there. Then you've got the actual story cards. And let's put these up the right way. So here you go. Again, beautifully illustrated to show all the lovely stuff. My screen just gone off for a sec. Let me bring that back. Yeah, so lovely illustrations here, and each one is numbered, and each one of those numbers is represented by a page in the book. So in here somewhere should be uh, now I'm only assuming, it might be wrong because I don't actually know how this one starts. But in the Weirding Wood there is a tavern. So let's not worry about it too much. Let's say you start the game at uh let's find a nice one to start at. Uh there you go, the bubbling cauldron. There we go. We're gonna start the game in the bubbling cauldron. That is probably, I'm gonna make a guess, that's probably the starting square. Right? So you all start with your characters in here, you put your little characters on the card there, and you would read that page of the bubbling cauldron. So I would flip to page 27. And I would simply read this page. Okay, and this page says, you were not expecting to find a bustling drinking establishment here in this tower, but here it is. What looks like the owner is busy serving frothy drinks to all its kind of customers, some of which do not look human. And then you can make a choice. So you've walked into this tavern, you're having a look around, you're seeing it's busy, you're seeing this barman serving people drinks, and you're kind of curious of what's going on. So will you talk to the innkeeper? Will you talk to one of the customers? Will you order a drink? Or will you search the inn for anything weird? And there you go. Now you can choose one of these actions, and then one of these actions will have something that takes place. Now, ideally, someone is reading this to you. So you can have a games master do this, or you can pass the book around the room and have each person have their part of being the games master. So that they don't see, if I was making this myself, I could quickly look down the page and go, well, I'm going to pick number 3 because number 3 looks like it's got the best options. So ideally, you would have someone read this to the person and say to them, what do you want to do? They would tell you what they want to do, and then you would read what happens. So let's say we talk to the innkeeper, right? It's a nice thing to go and do. Introduce yourself, go and have a chat with the innkeeper. The jolly innkeeper chats to you about his wonderful tower. He's not sure who owns it or what lies beyond this floor. For whatever reason, he has a constant supply of strangers to serve that keeps him happy. It seems that he has no knowledge of how long the tavern has been here or how it arrived. Maybe this mine has been altered. There you go. So he's giving you a bit of information, and then it would do the next person's go, and they might choose to do something different. And as you can see, some of these things, oh, it looks like someone down here might be having a fight. So who knows? And then you would simply go around the room, and once everyone's had their turn, so everyone's decided what they're going to do. In this instance, we've got 2 players. You would say to them, "Where do you want to go?" You could go north. You could go south. You could go east. This is what's happening if you go north. This is what's happening if you go east. This is what's happening when you go west. Sorry, south. I hope I get my compass right. And west. And that player would say, "Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go up here." And this player would go, "No, I'm gonna split off. I'm not gonna go with you. I'm gonna go and see what's over here." And then you would play the next turn. So the next turn would be, what is going on up here? This person has found the top of the tower of the fallen king. This person has found top of the tower the djinn has come across the djinn. And then you would read those pages and you would go on your adventure, and you would slowly over time build out this table of awesome adventures that would be different every time, because you would obviously, I haven't shuffled these cards, but as you would go you'd be revealing more and more, and then you would be working your way around the map that you've built each time, interacting with the card and having decisions to make and monsters to fight and items to find and trying to complete some quests as you go. Now I've given a very simplistic version of that game, but I can tell you now that it's hugely fun to do. And if I remember rightly, again, go to storymasterstales.com and read about it yourself. But this is all supported by Soundscapes as well, which is an awesome company that does narrative. How to what would it say? atmospheric music and interactions, so that in the background you can be playing this over your stereo system or whatever it is you've got, to accompany the game. And I believe there is also narrated cards, so that if you don't want to read the book, if you're not very confident about maybe speaking out loud, although I would highly recommend you do, and get whoever's involved doing it as well, you can have the cards read to you, by actors, essentially, if that's what you want to do. So that can make it very interesting as well. Yeah, combat is very simple. It's my dice versus your dice plus our stats, so our fighting stats. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think that's probably the game in a nutshell. In the lightest possible way that I can sort of talk about it, but it's super fun. Um, we have played the Weirding Wood and the Draco's Dungeon many times, and every time it is different, and every time it is a lot of fun. So, yeah, that was. We'll jump into the other one next. That was the Story Master's Tales Hours. So, storymasterstales.com. Go and check it out. And it all packs away very nicely. You can, if you want. I have done this. Is sleeve the cards so that again you can keep them nice and pristine, and even get like a little playing card deck box so you can stop the cards from sliding about. That may be the only. If I was to say that there's an improvement to this game, from a storage point of view, it's a little card holder. Just a very, it could come flat packed in here. You could pop it out and just slide the cards into so that they don't fall out. You can put the cards in this bag, and I think that is what you're meant to do, is keep the cards in the bag. But that's still not as good as an actual card holder, because I like to keep the pencils and all the other bits and pieces in this bag, and I'd love a little deck box. Now, you can obviously buy one for next to nothing, so I am going to quickly now look at the other book I've got, which is the Weirding Woods Expanded Edition. So I have the original game, but this just looks like an edition. Now I think this is a Kickstarter thing. It may be that if you buy the version of the game now, this is actually what you get. But there were certainly more pages in here than the original. Yeah, 45 pages. But again, it's a lot. It feels a lot thicker. That's why I think it's the two books combined. But it's probably actually more likely an updated set, because obviously this was the very first one he did, and I think he then went back and maybe refreshed some bits and pieces, and fleshed it out a bit more, given the experience he had, from the newer games that came along. And it's always great to go back and sort of correct anything. So yeah, but exactly the same premise. You are in this amazing woodland scene, exploring all of the weird and wonderful, coming across amazing characters like the Shadow King, for instance, and so on. And you will be surprised at the things that can happen to you in here. It isn't just hero saves person or hero goes and gets quests. You can, no spoilers, but you of the party, you can become the villain in some respects, and in some of the scenarios. There are many quests to go over, and there are many things that can happen. But the beauty of it is you haven't got to be a great dungeon master. Being a dungeon master is hard. This kind of takes all that out of it. You're almost playing along with everyone, reading the adventure and doing it. So yeah, highly recommend it. Go check it out. Like I say, I'm not affiliated in any way. This is my own opinion of it, that I have purchased these products. Now, this one I don't know too much about. Again, I bought it off the back of, he's done awesome work. It's an awesome company. I want to continue to support it if I can. And this is the Story Master's Tales Spoken Adventure. And I'm loving the way that it's already put together. Let's undo this. So let's have a look here. We've got the Story Master's Tale, Spoken Adventure. Join me in the amazing folklore fantasy world of monsters, magic, and mystery. Folklore fantasy, immersive, interactive adventure. Ages 7 to adults. Scan the QR code inside to play the map. Okay, so there's a QR code there. I have no idea what happens if you scan it. Oh man, this looks very nice. I almost don't want to open it out. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this all on the camera in one go. Look at that. Look at this. Oh, there we go. I knocked the camera over, as I thought would happen. Let me try and get this as best I can. Maybe I can give a little bit of a. I'll move the camera around a little bit, and you can see. So there we go. That's beautifully illustrated. Some of the character names that I recognise from the Weirding Wood and some other bits and pieces. So the way I think I understand how this works is that I would scan that QR code, I would use it in conjunction with some of the other bits I already own, and it would walk me through how to travel around this map and how to go on a very similar adventure. But it's all more, as you said there. It's called the spoken adventure. It's going to be a lot more audible bases. It's going to be yeah, I'm gonna have to. There's not much to show you really, apart from how amazing this product looks, because that's just amazing. This would go nicely in a frame, to be honest. It looks so nice. But I need to get this under an actual let's play, so let's do that. I'm gonna as quickly as I can get this on the table behind me, properly laid out, and we will run a game of it and see what happens. But it is fantastically presented, and I think it is very similar to obviously what the Story Masters Tales core products are. But this one's going to be much more of that audible driven, probably some fantastic voice acting and so on and so forth. But it looks amazing. It really does. Oh man, this is gonna. I'm gonna have to try and keep this safe. Man, I don't even want to laminate it, but I might have to frame it and then just get it out of the frame every time I want to use it, because it's too nice to be kept wrapped up in this lovely little thing here. But yeah, this was the new Kickstarter. I'm going to assume this is now available. Everything that he does on Kickstarter, he then brings to actual sort of for sale, so you can go out and buy the Story Masters Tales, all of the books that I just showed you. In fact, there's a brand new one out as well, which I have got, but it hasn't arrived yet. I'm hoping it's not too far away. But it is the Transylvania, so it looks really cool. It looks very gothic horror setup. So yeah, this is it, Story Masters Tales. We have quite the collection now. We have Towers, we have Draco Deep Dungeon, and we have the Weirding Wood. There we go. And then we also have the spoken map, and we have the expanded book. To say I'm enjoying this person and this company's products would be an understatement. You should definitely go and check them out. Right. Thanks for watching. If you like this stuff, or if you've got this stuff yourself, give us a comment below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and give us a subscribe. And I will catch you in the next video. And we are definitely going to get this on the table so we can delve into it more and see what it's all about. But that was just a quick look at it, although it was about 25 minutes. So I appreciate it. If you're still here at the end, you're awesome. Thank you very much. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.